Right, so we're here in the Tango Towers living room looking at the dingy bench. I put a studio light in front of it and the power lead for the lamp's gone down, so it's as dingy as it is. So sorry about that. The idea is we've got that Tait 2000 that we did the other day on 77s, and we've got the Tait 500, and I can see the focus hunting because it's so dingy. Which is on 4 meters. Perhaps if I get a fluorescent a torch out, it might actually help. Oh, that's better. So, Mr Chippie has gone home to Bradford for a couple of weeks, so that's why there's no more on the air tests at present. And the plan is that he's going to try and come through on the repeater. And now he is, the repeater, this is GB3GR 77s repeater for amateur radio, and it is about 7.7 miles from me, and it lives at a place called Cold Harbour, which is about as high up as you get in the Grantham area. And I'm right in the shadow of the valley, so it goes over the top of me, and I have to do about 17 watts to get in about 7 miles, you see. So anyway, Mr Chippie is back home, as I say, at Bradford. He's gone up to an area called Belden Moor. He's parked up in the car park there, and he's using a TYT 50 watt mobile, and that's his license maximum. He's an intermediate, and I know he's coming in loud and clear into repeater because I can actually hear him. So there's two things going to happen. We're going to record the first 5 minutes of our Wednesday night net, which we have on GB3GR, and part of this demonstration, apart from seeing what Mr Chippie's up to, is that people who are beginners, as in the entry level license, foundation license, and who have a 10 watt license, of course, can get into these repeaters. And this kind of repeater, it does 100 miles north, it does 100 miles south, to all the way around. And so you can be talking like Mr C is, and he's 110 miles from that repeater, and we can have somebody come on this evening who is in Norfolk and could be 80 miles the other direction from the repeater. So you can get these phenomenal ranges because the repeater's doing the legwork, but it's real radio, it's not going down some internet link. So we're on the Tait 2000, which is the top radio, and our Wednesday night net will start. I'll better look at the time. In 10 minutes. So I'll come back to you all in 10 minutes.
Mike 0, Sierra Delta Mike, listening through GB3GR for the Wednesday night net. Any stations wishing to join, please call now.
G0OJF.
FKC. B4ENS. 1T. M0SDM. Okay, I had quite a few stations there all at once. We've got G0OJF, Richard. Then we've got 2E0FKC, also known as Mr C. Then we've got Alan G4ENS. Any other stations wishing to join, please call now. Yeah, G7NDJ. G7NDJ, Mark, acknowledged. Any other stations wishing to join the Wednesday night net on GB3GR, please call now. For WZU. V0KZT. We've got G4WZU, we've got 2E0KZT. Good evening, Lee. Any other stations wishing to join the Wednesday night net, please call now. Okay, a couple of stations doubled there. Please call again. M7XTV. M7XTV. Good evening, Mike. Good to have you for your first net. Great. Any other stations wishing to join, please call now. M0KXL. Good afternoon, Kenny. Any other stations wishing to join the Wednesday night net on GB3GR, please call now. 7RSG. 7RSG, acknowledged. Right, okay, just have a quick run through the list. Got myself at the top of the list, Mike 0 Sierra Delta Mike. Then we've got Richard G0OJF. Then we've got Richard 2E0FKC up north. Then we've got Richard, no we haven't, we've got Alan G4ENS. Then we've got Len G4WZU. Then we've got Lee in Peterborough 2E0KZT. Then we've got Mike M7 X-Ray Tango Bravo, who is Mike. Kenny M0KX. Oh dear, I'm getting all my call signs mixed up. Can't read Mike 0 Kilo X-Ray Tango, and then Russ M7RSG. If I've made any mistakes with call signs, just have to prompt me and I'll put it right. I'm out mobile tonight, and I'm using one of Richard's business radios as a something to lean on. Any other stations wishing to join the net, please call now.
Yeah, G7NDJ, I thought I was after G4ENS.
You know what, Mark? I'm not even put you on the list. Yeah, okay. I'll put you in between Alan and Len. G7NDJ. So I'll just run through it again real quick. M0SDM, G0OGF, 2E0FKC, G4ENS, G7NDJ, G4WZU, 2E0KZT, M7XTB, M0KZT, I think I'm wrong, and Russ M7RSG. Okay, I think I've made a hash of that again, do apologise. Rushing and can't read my own writing. But I think we'll go straight round to Richard and see how we go. G0OGF, M0SDM.
G0OJF. Part of my videos, I'm just recording the first 5 minutes of tonight's net, so just be aware of that. It would be nice if people could just say what town they're in, just for the camera. So we're just going to run 2 times round and then we'll take the camera off. One of the other reasons is that I'm using a business radio that I serviced on the video the other day, a Tait 2000, and on top of that we've got Mr C from coming in from beyond Bradford, 110 miles away, and it'd be nice to have that on the recording as well. So over to Richard 2E0FKC.
Thank you very much. Right, for anybody that wants to know, I'm above Leeds Bradford Airport, between Leeds Bradford Airport and Otley, on a high spot in the car park of the pub of the Royal Oak on York Gate near Otley. So that's where I am, for anybody who wants to look it up. I did have my APRS on earlier, so anybody who looks at the call time will see exactly where I'm parked. So I'll keep it short for now. So with that, we'll go around to Alan, G4ENS from 20KC.
2E0FKC, the group G4ENS, I think 10. Is that the record, or is it an equaling a record? I don't know. Quite a full house tonight, yes. And also there's a new one there, Kenny, who's now just recently come on board the local club. Welcome to you there, Kenny. And of course I've said good evening to all the other stations on previous occasions. So keep the first over short, round to Mark. I did have you in my list as 5th, Mark.
Alan's at Grantham and lives next door to Stuart.
G4ENS.
Yeah, G4ENS, yeah, cheers, Alan, G7NDJ. Yes, I've got my pen, you know, when I first come on, I never had my pen and paper, and I wrote it down.
This is Mark ZX2, who does part-time working when we don't have COVID.
Yeah, so for newbies, or as anybody else not been on the net, so I'm in Nottingham. I'm up on a place called Mapley Plains. I live a couple of miles away, but I'm just in a bit of a dip, so I can't get in, so I come out and sit in my car, get away for the telly. So yeah, Mapley Plains. There's a local keep this one short, and if my list is correct, I think, where are we? Yes, over to Len, I think, yes, G4WZU from G7NDJ.
Thanks, Mark. G4WZU. Evening to everybody. It's nice to see a full net. It just about fitted on my sheet of paper, and I'm glad you put Mark in the right order, else I would have been all over the place, crossing him out, moving him down the bottom there. And fine on that there. Yeah, going a little trip to Bothersford tomorrow to get some coax. I just wonder if anybody's got a rough estimate of the length of coax from the top of the roof to a...
Len is at Gonnerby, which is a suburb of Grantham, so he's about 8 miles away.
I'd go by. I certainly can't get up with a tape measure and measure it. It's counting tiles and windows and slates and whatever. But that's it for me, as it's quite a long list, so I'll go straight over to Lee for G4WZU.
2E0KZT, Lee QTH, Stanground, Peterborough. Got a new rig today, a FTM 400 Yaesu dual bander, and I'm loving it. My receive is so much clearer. So there we go. I'll hand it straight over to Mike 7 X-Ray Tango Bravo, 2E0KZT on the group.
Good evening, everyone. It's Mike 7 X-Ray Tango Bravo. My name is Mike, also known as Mike the Pirate. I live in Grantham.
He tried coming on illegally before he had a license.
Victoria Street. So, I'm really glad to be here. Thank you very much to everyone. Warm welcome. And to be honest, I have no idea who is after me, so back to you guys.
He's at Grantham.
M7XTB from M0KXL. Stuart, this M0KXL. I'm in Grantham, at the north end of town. I also appear on the APRS, so you'll see me up there, and every morning you'll see a circular trail, which is the dog walk, at about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. You see where I've been in the fields, where the dog is decided to take me. So I'm only about 3 miles away from 3GR, so I get a nice strong signal. I shall pass on to, I think it's Russ, and so M7RSG from M0KXL.
M7RSG in the group. Thank you, Kenny. Good evening, everybody. Russ here from Heckington, in between Sleaford and Boston.
Famous for its windmill.
Congratulations, Mike. Mike the Pirate, for coming on board. We look forward to speaking to you many times. And also, Lee, congratulations on getting your 2E0KZT. Now, by my count, because I'm going to pass it on to somebody else, I work out that there's 11 people from 5 counties at the moment. And the chap who usually comes in from Sheffield, I can't remember his name, is it Matt? If he comes on, that'll be 6 counties and 12 people. So if you are there, Matt, please make yourself known. But in the meantime, I'm going to pass it over to 2E0YNT. 2E0YNT Andy, M7RSG.
2E0YNT, in the group. Evening, everybody.
He appeared on the last video with this when he did a test with me.
Yeah, but I recognise your voice because I usually listen to the nets, and anybody else on there that I've not spoke to. I'll keep it short. 2E0YNT is the call. I'm about 5 miles south of Sleaford, Lincolnshire, that is. So with that, quick one to Lee. I'm on a different radio, but to Lee, 2E0KZT. I'm also on my FTM 400 tonight, Lee. I've had it a couple of months. Lovely radio. So I'm giving it a bit of a workout. Right with that, I hope everybody's good. Round to Stuart from 2E0YNT in the group. Over to you, Stuart.
M0SDM.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for coming on.
says it is a record, definitely A11 now. It's the most I've ever had. To think a couple of years ago it was down to 2 or 3 people. The Wednesday night net's doing really well. I'm parked up just in the border of Leicestershire, just outside Crowson Cariol. Looks like Croxton Cariol on the map. So I'm throughout mobile tonight, just using the little Chinese CRT Space U set. So that seems to be working well with the panorama dual band whip on the roof. So yeah, excellent. And again, well done to Mike and to Lee on those call signs. That's excellent. If anyone does forget who's next on the list or anyone calls in, just pass it back to me and I'll try and add them to the list without making a hash of it. I've been doing a bit of radio this week. Had my first goes at FT8. Not really achieved anything. Nothing worth writing home about. But then yesterday managed Iceland on 40 metres SSB, so I was quite pleased at that. And with that, we shall go round to Richard G0OJF from M0SDM.
G0OJF, we'll go one more round and I'll shut the camera off. So what I'd like to hear from those who haven't already said, if it's possible, if you just say what kind of radio you're on, because I'm on a Tait 2000 X business radio, and we already know that Stuart's on a CRT Space U, and that 2E0KZT and 2E0YNT are on FT400s. So with that, we'll go over to Richard, 110 miles away at Otley, G0OJF, 2E0KC.
G0OGF 30FKC. I've just moved to the side of the road. I'm still getting it, and the signal's a bit less. Yeah, so congratulations to Lee and Mike for your call signs. The radio I'm using tonight is a TYT TH9800. That did have an SO239 on it, which I felt should have been an N-type. So replaced the socket on the radio with an N-type socket, and then put a high quality N-type plug on the wires to it. So hopefully that's improved things. But I've been instant repeater from this position before, but I don't remember it being this good. So hopefully that is an improvement.
And he's right, that's it.
I'll pass it round to Alan, G4ENS from 20FKC.
2E0FKC and the group G4ENS. Well, I think tonight is the first night I've actually managed for the first time to actually get every call sign down. It's a first for me. Normally I miss a letter here or there, I'll get it boxed as it were. But I got them all right tonight, which is most unusual for me. Yes, the record is from going back on my notes. The previous highest record was 11, and we've now equalled 11 on the Wednesday night net. I've got an ICOM 9700. I'm on the western side of Grantham, right towards the top of Dysart Road on a turning on the northern side. So there we are. Round to you then, Mark. G7NDJ G4ENS.
You're Alan G4ENS, yeah, G7NDJ. Well, I'm on a Yaesu 8900, which I've had, I think since when it's first come out, I think it's about late 90s, 94 I think I've had this set. Hidden away in a modern car, so I've just got the remote head on it, and sort of so I can see it and use it properly. Otherwise, like modern cars, you can't mount anything. Yes, which I've had for a long time. So, right, I'm keeping them fairly short because there's quite a lot of us on. So, from me, I've scribbled the bits out there, so it's a bit misleading on my list, but yes, over to Len, G4WZU.
G4WZU, located in Gunnerby, near the school there, running a Kenwood V71 and a vintage Tait power supply. 5 watts, but very surprised at Richard's signal up there in Sheffield Way, up north, is very good signal indeed there, as loud as some of the local stations, so that's very good there. Very surprised the other night watching YouTube
It's
on
45 miles beyond Sheffield.
That was Richard.
Len's got the wrong end of the stick.
4-metre radio, and last night the same thing again, that popped Richard on 77, so he must be well up with Mr YouTube, or whoever controls it, with pushing his videos. So instead of watching Lays, I was watching Richard. Okay, for me, over to Lee, 2E0KZT G4WZU.
Thank you, Len. 2E0KZT returning. Yeah, quick question for Andy, 2E0YNT. Why do you show up about half a mile from my house on APRS? You are showing up, strangely, on a junction near IKEA. There we go. Don't know why. If you could explain that one, that'd be great. Congratulations on the new call sign to Mike as well. I think it might be maybe, but not sure. Yeah. Loving my new FT400. I've got the APRS on. If anyone wants to look me up on there, you can find me in Stoneground, Peterborough. I've got a house as my symbol at the moment. I'm just going to have a look and see if I can find anybody else.
So he's near Peterborough.
Strange message from my APRS. I'll hand it back over to M7XTB from 2E0KZT Andrew.
M7XTB. Thank you, Lee. Congratulations to you as well. About my radio, nothing to brag about. It's just little handheld Baofeng GB3GR. I called a few times on 2 meters with no response. I had some QSOs with repeaters in Nottingham, so it's not too bad. I'm hoping I'm, coming clear to you as well, guys. So you just let me know what's the quality of it. And that's about it. So back to M0KXL from M7XTB.
M7XTB M0KXL. Thank you, and thank you, Alan, for welcoming me to the club as well. Appreciate it. Congrats to Lee and Michael on their licenses. My radio is a Yaesu FT2D, and as I said earlier, you can see me on the APRS map. I'll pass it now on to M7RSG from M0KXL.
M7RSG, returning to the group. Well, I'm running one of our Chinese friends, Retavis RT95, a little mobile rig from the home base here through an X50 collinear. 3.5 watts is what I'm showing. I'm on low power, and I guess I'm about 14-15 miles away from the repeater. I'm not particularly strong on the input, but I clearly get in there. Low power for me in a residential area it does me fine. One thing I was going to say, Lee, 2E0KXT, your audio is a lot different this week. It's a lot crisper, a lot cleaner, and not so much of a party going on in the background. So the new radio that you're on is doing your voice quite proud. Excuse me. Okay, over to you, Andy, 2E0YNT M7RSG.
2E0YNT, return. Yeah, thanks for that, Russ. I'm also, just to add, the FTM 400 is running into my X510, Diamond X510, fed with about 20 metres of 213. And Richard's got me thinking now, and I think I'm going to put an M plug, because it's got an M plug on the bottom of the Diamond aerial. I'm going to put an M plug this end, I think. Yeah,
it can be done. I'm sure this has got it on the bottom, not 100% sure, but one of my radios has anyway, so yeah, I'm going to do some playing myself, I think. Lee, right, the APRS is showing me at Peterborough. You'd like to know why? Do you know what? I would as well. It's something to do with my D-Star hotspot. It's always shown it there. I've tried and tried to rectify it, and I don't know why. It happens with a lot of hotspots, digital hotspots. If I use one of my others on Fusion or DMR, it doesn't show me in Peterborough. So, I don't know why it does it. It's just one of those things. So, if that sort of clears that a little bit. So with that, that's enough waffle from me. Round to Stuart, M0SDM from 20YNT in the group.
0SDM returning. Yeah, excellent. I think it's fair to say we've got a fair spread of different rigs there, from the Chinese models all the way up to the top of the range icons. So that's excellent. Just goes to show that anything goes. Just for the record, I'm also running APRS tonight, M0SDM-2, and obviously if you look on the APRS.fi website, you'll be able to spot various people on there and their call signs. Can't think of anything else just about at the minute. It's getting rather chilly. The gritters have been out. They've had a nice sunset. And with that, round to Richard, G0OGF from Mike 0 Sierra Delta Mike.
Yeah, G0OGF. Well, you had some misgivings with your aerial earlier on today, Stuart. And you're absolutely fantastic with the same setup. So whether or not it was just the bottom of Dysart Road or what, I don't know. But it's certainly working as you'd expect. So that was an interesting array of radios, and yes, some people gave us the powers, which was also interesting. Because this is a business radio and it's a fixed power, I've set it for 25 watts. But normally I'd be running 17. Because I'm in a valley and the repeater's on top of the hill, I can get it in on 5, but it needs to be a bit better signal. So with that, we'll go straight over to Richard. For Len's information, he's not at Sheffield, Len. He's the far end of Bradford. So he's not 65 miles away, he's 110 miles away. So over to you, Richard, 2E0FKC from G0OGF.
G0OGF, 2E0FKC. Right, I've knocked my power down to the next level down, which is 20 watts. So if Stuart M0SDM can come back to me quickly and just tell me if I'm still getting in.
2E0FKC M0SDM. Yeah, you're getting in fine. No difference at all. Can't notice anything.
A bit of surface noise.
Absolutely perfect. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. Yeah, just to clarify my position, it's the top of Otley Shevin, that's Otley Shevin, which is in West Yorkshire, but it's not far from the border with North Yorkshire and Harrogate, so it really is right at the top end of the Bradford district. So I think what I'll do the next time round, I'll knock the power down to 10 watts to see if I'm still getting. So I'll keep it short because a lot of people on. So with that, round to Alan's G40.
And at that point, we'll take this camera off. So that's your little demonstration of the Wednesday night note on GB3GR.